What's up, guys? I'm LAJ.
And this is Marvin.
Cool. So we're back at it with another episode. So what a crazy finals. Game one. This is just game one. Marvin, what did you think about it?
Amazing game, great game, closer than I thought. You and
Right?
myself, we talked about it on
Mm-hmm.
our radio show. We figured that it was going to be a blowout. We figured this series was going to be over in four, but out of respect for LeBron, and we thought the Cleveland Cavaliers, the role players would come along, and maybe they'd take a game, and this could have been that game. But different circumstances came up, and Warriors came out on top. 124-114 in overtime. But overall, great game, very enjoyable. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series now.
Absolutely. Did you see that video where Jordan Clarkson was shooting some shots before the game, and he received the second ball and it slipped out of his hands? Did you see it?
No, I didn't get to watch that
It
video.
was like pregame warm-ups, and he shot one. I don't know what happened, but he got the second one. He was going up to shoot it, and it just slipped out of his hands. And all the captions read, Warriors in 3, Warriors in 2, Warriors confirmed to win championship in a sweep. But yeah, it was, everybody, even the professional analysts like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, ESPN, Fox Sports, everybody had the Warriors winning game one by no less than 40. And yeah, I'm just like you. I'm surprised and I'm shocked of how that went down. But let's get into this. Let's get into how all this went down. First and foremost, we gotta find a retard alert. So let's discuss on who we could give that award to. Our first nominee is gonna be J.R. Smith. Peter and I, we had the same. We agreed on that. We said J.R. Smith was an idiot. He just straight up messed up, and the memes just came flowing in. And man, that's who we blame. But how do you feel about J.R. Smith and that whole situation?
It's inexcusable.
Mm-hmm.
You're a professional basketball player. I don't care if, you thought you were up by 2, you thought you had a timeout. I don't care what your excuse is. Your job is to know the circumstances of the moment. There's 4.7 seconds left. That's enough time to get a shot off. You had an open player under the basket. You had LeBron out in the three-point. You could have turned around and shot a quick 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss it, you miss it. You go to overtime. But if you make it, that's game. So he definitely deserves retard alert because that could have been game right there.
Retard alert, class!
You steal game one at home.
At Oracle, yes.
You steal one out at the Oracle. So it changes the whole dynamic of the series. Now you're down 1, and it's like hopefully the Warriors have. We saw the Warriors. They had a great game. It's not like the Warriors had a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
You had Durant, Curry, Thompson. They all shot over 25 points, and the Cavaliers were abysmal.
Yes.
LeBron James, 51 points, Kevin Love, 21. And then after that, the best scorer was J.R. Smith with 10. And everyone else got 7, 4, and 3 points. So this would have been the game to steal. The Cavaliers had a bad game. The Warriors had a great game. And you still come out on top. That, you go into game 2 with a big motivation factor. And Warriors, they'd be hurt.
Yeah.
They'd be hurting because
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's definitely a different. A different series now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm feeling everything you're saying. It definitely becomes a mental game now because if you go down 1-0 at your home to a team that was struggling, you're basically beat by one player. 4 All-Stars, 2 of them are definitely going to be Hall of Famers in Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, and then Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, great defenders, and you lose to one player with a garbage team, man, and you were not at your best. Obviously, the Warriors, we've seen so much better out of them, but giving a lot of good. So it does become like a mental game. It does affect their mentality and that psyche going into game 2. But, definitely J.R. Smith really, really messed it up. I don't. Let me ask you this one because J.R. Smith, I felt like it was kind of intentional, but when he slipped and chopped Klay Thompson's leg, who by the way is supposedly going to play tomorrow, all it is a high ankle sprain with a severe bruise. I don't know if anybody wants to play with that, especially in a game like this. He might lose him for the remainder of the year, or who knows how long. Because a sprain like that, they're deadly. Coming from a guy who's suffered those before, they're pretty bad. But
Yeah.
how do you feel about that whole Jr. and Klay Thompson little cut?
I feel like it was not necessarily unintentional because he slipped, but Jr. is a tricky little guy, so I
Mm-hmm.
feel like slipping. Maybe in the middle of that slip, he quickly thought, "Hey, like I'm gonna go for the leg," because he did seem like he kind of went out of the way to hit his leg.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the slip was unintentional. He fell, but then going after his leg, that I feel like that was intentional. That
Yeah,
was maybe something a little planned out.
it looked worse than than what it turned out to be. Just like that Bryce
Oh
Harper,
yeah,
it was just nasty. You did not think it was gonna be something that he'd come back from this year, but so it turns out to be something small, something minimal.
yep,
Good to hear that, but I'm just gonna keep saying this: LeBron James got robbed, and we're trying to get to the bottom
yep.
of who robbed him. We know J.R. Smith is one, but what about George Hill? George Hill missing that free throw. That
That was yeah.
that yeah, that's huge. Now here, do you think if he makes that free throw with 4.7 seconds, the Warriors have enough to win it?
4.7 seconds for the Warriors. See, those 4.7 seconds will seem like an eternity
Mm-hmm.
because you have arguably the greatest shooter of all time in Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
You have one of the greatest scorers of all time in Kevin Durant, and you have easily a top 10 shooter in the history of the NBA with Klay Thompson. So yeah, three deadly shooters. And then you have Draymond Green, who he was having a pretty good night. So 4.7 seconds, that's a lot of time to give the Warriors because any three, you can give the ball to any three of those guys, and they can make it.
Mm-hmm.
With Cleveland, it's kind of like, okay, LeBron James is going to get the ball, so we have to defend LeBron James or Kyle Korver if he's out there. But with the Warriors, you can't really double team someone. It's hard to defend them. So 4.7 seconds would have definitely been enough time. Now being up one, that's if George Hill makes that, George Hill, he's shooting 81% from the free throw line in the postseason. So Cleveland should have had it in their head that, okay, there's a good chance he's going to miss it. He's not a great free throw shooter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 80% is really good. I mean, I don't think any Laker outside of Isaiah Thomas and maybe KCP shot 80% or more.
Yeah.
So 80% is pretty good. I mean, you're gonna miss 2 out of 10, but still, it's a great stat.
Yeah, but George Hill isn't very well known for his free throw shooting, so I feel like Cleveland should have had that a little planned out. Should have planned it out a little better, but nonetheless, going up 1 point with 4.7 seconds left, oh, that's a huge advantage, and it was a missed opportunity.
Very
So
huge.
George Hill does factor into that whole. Of course, missing that free throw factors into the whole why the Cavaliers lost, why the Warriors won.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, it's crazy that close to a team.
Yep.
That is I feel so bad about LeBron. Like my view of like I'm still not a LeBron. What do they call him? Bron-sexual. I'm not Bron-sexual yet, but I'm feeling his pain. Like he literally did everything he possibly could,
Yeah.
and they kept the Cavs within winning that game, and it sucks. It sucks. It really, really, really does suck. And we so far have found three culprits on why LeBron and the Cavs lost. The next one I think is yours, and I want to hear why, and I want to dive right into this. Why you think the refs are the biggest factor in why the Cavs lost?
So, like how you just mentioned, to me, the main reason the Cavs lost were the refs, and it's not it's not that I hate Golden State or anything like that. It's just Golden State got lucky. They should have lost this game, and just like with against the Rockets, they got bailed out again. They got lucky because with a couple minutes left on the clock, and this was a huge swing of the moment in the game. But with a couple minutes left, it was like 2-something left, and Cavaliers were up by 2 points. And then, Kevin Durant drives in, and LeBron strips the ball, and LeBron didn't even touch Durant. It was all ball, and the refs called the foul. Now LeBron makes the first shot, Kevin Durant makes the first shot, and then LeBron's over there arguing with the refs. So Kevin Durant misses the second shot, and then I believe it was Green got the rebound, and he made the basket. So now Golden State Warriors are up by 1 point. Now in the transition, going back on the other end of the court, LeBron drives in, and he gets fouled by Kevin Durant. He gets slapped across the arm, and the refs don't call that.
Damn.
They let the play keep going. So, that's a huge swing in the game with a couple minutes left. If they call that right, Cleveland gets the ball up by 2, and from there, who knows how it goes. Then, we just saw in the 2-minute reports the whole lane violation, and Draymond Green should have been called for that. That's another moment. And then the foul that was reversed by I believe it was Kevin Durant who was driving in, and they called the offensive foul, and then the refs went and reversed it.
Oh my God.
That kind of angered me a little because it's the playoffs. It's the NBA Finals. There's a couple seconds left. If there's not enough evidence, the rule is if there's insufficient evidence,
you can't reverse the call.
You stick with the call. So the reason why the refs switched that, I don't know. It wasn't necessary, and that's why I believe the refs. To me, the refs were the biggest factor in this.
I mean, I can't blame you for that. I really can't blame you for that because we started seeing now Tristan Thompson getting ejected for a simple foul. Like really?
Yep.
Like we got Draymond Green out here kicking balls out of people and chopping people, and we got like shadier things going on. And LeBron was getting chopped up driving to the lane. He was getting slapped up, and he wasn't getting those calls. I'm starting to think the refs are starting to get paid hourly, and they're trying to get that overtime. That's the only reason I can think about it. Like that's the only reason I could think like why they would extend it this way. But on point,
LeBron just because of his size, LeBron's so, he's big and he's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So it's harder for him to get those calls when he drives in. But especially in the playoffs, the referees kind of let it play out a little more.
Yeah.
But definitely is.
If you're gonna call one, call the rest.
Yeah, in situations like this, the refs need to, the refs need to be more sure about things. You can't just you can't overturn a call on insufficient evidence. You can't make a call just because you think you saw something. Like the refs need to be more sure about things. Because it's as we saw game 1, it made a completely different game. Going on in the series, like maybe we'll see the refs kind of switch it up a little. Maybe they learned their lesson game 1, so they're gonna. Hopefully, it makes things better for the rest of the series. But who knows? The refs. One day they're great. The next day they're the 3 blind mice out there. So
do you think they should add another ref?
They should add, I think one more ref would definitely help out.
Yeah, there's too much going on. There's a lot of times that a lot of things get, like a lot of players get away with little things here and there, like a little slap here and there, a little taunt, a little flick. I mean, there was a one point, I think it was J.R. Smith who just, no, it was Dennis Rodman, who just went like at the free throw. Somebody shooting a free throw, he dug down and untied somebody's shoe and then just took off.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, there's not enough eyes on the court. There really isn't enough eyes on the court for all these fouls and everything that gets taken away. But this with all this negativity going on, just game 1, it takes away from the amazing performance by LeBron James. 51 points in a playoff game in the finals
Yes.
against four All-Stars who are definitely going to be defensive team of the year, possibly, probably, most likely. Um, he was shooting some outlandish shots. 4 or 5 feet away from the three-point line, he was shooting and draining three-point shots. Do you feel that if J.R. Smith was conscious about the situation and he kicked it out to LeBron, he would have made it?
I believe so because LeBron was having a great game. 51 points, 19 of 32, and then 3 of 7 from the 3-point line. He was having a great game, and we've seen LeBron do it time and time again this postseason. And there wasn't really anyone sticking to LeBron, so if J.R. Smith would have kicked that ball out real quick to LeBron, LeBron would have had a good shot. No one really in his face. He would have had a good view of the basket.
Yeah.
So he had a good chance of making that.
I think Curry is the one that ran out with JR and then realized that he realized that JR was gonna kick it out. So I think he went to LeBron. I think he went to block or cover LeBron, and that's like a 6-7 inch differential. So it would have been pretty much an open 3-pointer. That sucks.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it would have been a good look to the basket.
Yeah. If the Cavs had won, it would have boiled down to J.R. Smith beating Kevin Durant, who has an entire foot of difference of height and length, and they would have found blame on Kevin Durant. If this whole situation would have gone down right, where J.R. either makes it or kicks it out and LeBron makes it, everybody looks at Kevin Durant like, yo, you messed up. This is on you.
Yeah, yep. It would have been a different. The whole series would have been different.
Yep.
And motivation factor, and like you said, we know how sensitive Kevin Durant can get. He's making burner accounts just to help himself out and to take hits at critics. So if they would have lost this game, it would have a big blame. And then this whole thing about Kevin Durant going there in the off season.
Yeah.
He's just piggybacking his championships. The media, the critics, fans, everyone would have been after Durant. And who knows? That most likely affects him the rest of the series.
Yeah.
We saw him do that. We saw him do that multiple times in OKC, where he gets blamed for stuff and he disappears the rest of the series.
Yeah. Oh man, great point. Great point. Damn, I didn't even realize that he did that in OKC. He would. Oh,
it's like Thanos snaps his fingers and there's like Durant.
Durant's part of that 50%. So what's your prediction for tomorrow?
So Iguodala's still doubtful, and Klay Thompson is actually doubtful as well. So my guess is Cleveland can take it. I actually think Cleveland can take this game because Iguodala is a big factor in stopping LeBron. We've seen it in all these championships. LeBron still gets his. He still scores a good amount of points. He still carries the team, but Iguodala hinders him a little. It forces LeBron to interact with his teammates more. And then we know Klay Thompson, deadly shooter, great defensive, probably the best defender on the Warriors. So not having those two guys is going to be a big factor. I actually think Cleveland can take it tomorrow. Without Iguodala and Thompson, Cleveland, because Golden State had a normal Golden State game. I don't know if that really makes sense.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, game one, Golden State didn't do anything spectacular, and they weren't bad. They had their, you had Durant with 26 points, Curry with 29, Thompson with 24. The bench, Draymond Green 13 points, and the bench contributed. This was a normal Golden State game, and Cleveland had a pretty bad game. LeBron had a great game. Everyone else, LeBron and Kevin Love had great games. Everyone else was, Thanos snapped his finger in the middle of that game.
The only one from the Warriors that disappeared was just Kevin Durant, and even he had a lot of points.
Yeah. So this, like I said, I'm gonna go back to it. This series would have been completely different because Cleveland, you as a whole, you have a bad game, and you still beat the Warriors, who had a Warriors type game. So you beat them game one, and then you go into game two where there's no Thompson or Iguodala, and then you can easily beat that. You can easily beat that team. You can beat that Warriors team without Thompson and Iguodala. So you win both games. You go up 2-0 in the series, and then you go back home for 2 games. So it's a completely different series, and Cleveland would have had a hand up on the Warriors, and they could have easily won the series. But now you're down 1-0. You go into game 2 as pretty much a must-win situation.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, we had the Warriors pretty much.
Everybody.
Out of respect for LeBron, we said 4-1. There would be a game 5, and so it's not, it's not a, how do we say? It's not like a surprise that the Warriors lost game. I mean, that the Cleveland Cavaliers lost game 1. It's just, it hurts because we know that the game was in their hands and they pretty much lost it. So now, see how the rest of the series plays out. It's definitely, I wasn't really hyped up for the series. I was like, man, another part, or here we go with the exact same finals, and then Warriors are going to blow them out. This is going to be boring. But then after game 1, I'm like, I'm excited for these games now.
Yes. Everybody is now. Now that they realize that the Warriors could be beat.
Imagine a game now where the bench contributes. Clarkson had a really bad game with 4 points on 2 for 9 shooting, 0 for 3 on 3 points. Kyle Korver, horrible game. So he took 3 shots and they were all 3-pointers, but he only made 1. Kyle Korver, usually you depend on him to get between 10 and 15, and this postseason he's been a big factor coming off that bench. Jeff Green with 7 points, Larry Nance with 9. So the team didn't contribute as much. So imagine a game where Cleveland,
everybody's in double digits at least.
Yeah, Cleveland can have one of their normal games.
So, damn. So that is interesting. Imagine a world where we get the situation where everybody picked the Portland Trail Blazers to sweep the Pelicans in the first round, and the Pelicans come out sweeping the Portland Trail Blazers. Imagine a situation where a world or a universe, an alternate universe where LeBron is up game 1, he wins game 2 like you just said right now, and then goes to Cleveland and sweeps them out there. I would honestly respect the hell out of that, man. I wouldn't put my past grudge, because what he did in Miami was, just grungy and scummy. But I would literally just have huge respect for the Cleveland Cavalier LeBron James.
Yeah, like this. If somehow I'm still not gonna count him out. Like, I know it's absurd because I said I was debating whether it ends in 4 or 5. But the way game 1 played out, and Iguodala and Thompson, we don't know the extent of that injury. The Warriors, they like to mask their injuries. They don't come out with all the information. And we saw how nasty that looked.
Yes.
And Thompson wasn't the same after that. We saw him limping around a lot and hobbling, and they had to constantly keep icing his ankle. So maybe, they're just saying, oh, they're just doubtful for game 2, but maybe it's worse than that, and it could become a competitive series. It wouldn't surprise me if this series goes to 6 or 7 now.
Yeah, and now you just can't count LeBron out anymore. You can't count the Cavs out unless game 2 comes out where they have the same repetitive performance from the bench and the rest of the team, and LeBron just drops 30. Then yeah, it's pretty much a done deal because LeBron's just gonna be gassed out. Hey, what do you think about that reporter that kept asking LeBron about J.R. Smith and trying to have LeBron run J.R. under the bus? And he just, it was the same question, just asked differently 3 times, and then he just walked out. Revoke the man's press credential, or is he trying to pull something out and it was like a genius move?
Sadly, that's just how the media is. I know we're in that equation a little.
Kind of.
We do a lot of sports analysis and stuff, but the thing is, controversy sells. If you're a reporter, you go in there and you just get these usual answers from LeBron, then all is well. That's what we expected. But if you can get LeBron to throw JR under the bus, then that's headlines, that's money for your company, and that's what these reporters do. These reporters, they're trying to get under the player's skin. They're trying to get them to throw other teammates under the bus. We see it time and time again. They try to get them to blame other people, and because it makes headlines, and that's what these reporters want. I don't want to say these reporters are heartless or they don't care.
They're just trying to get their money.
In a way, these reporters don't care about the players' feelings. They just want whatever gives them headlines. And in this case, they wanted LeBron James to say, "Hey, it's JR's fault." I don't know if that's exactly what they wanted them to say, but it seems like that's what they wanted as headlines.
We're going to have to wait at least, let's see, LeBron's 34, 33, 34. I think he's 34. We're going to have to wait another like 5 or 6 years when he retires. And then another probably like 10 years after that when they do a LeBron James special. And he finally says, yeah, you know what? I lost game 1 because of J.R. Smith. I regret trading for his ass. And that's when we'll find out, like, yeah, you're right. You're right. But sad as news. Game 2. We're excited. We're all excited for game 2. I'm glad you jumped on board. I'm glad you jumped on over here so we could talk a little bit about game 1, chop it up. And we'll chop it up on Monday if you can. Game 2, I guess just a recap, because hopefully it just ends up being like another game 1, but in the Cavs' favor. Make it an interesting series. With that being said, I'm LAJ.
And this is Marvin.
Legendary Sports. Make sure you guys check us out, Legendary Sports Organization, on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And catch our shows on Wednesday nights at 6 Pacific Standard Time, 9 Eastern. Looking forward to seeing you guys and hearing from you guys. We'll interact some more later on, and we'll see you guys next time. You guys have a great day.